Hello and welcome to Panther Financial Services. This is Pranab Patil. Today we will discuss about the IT sector and how the AIs can be risk to the IT sector in the future. So in this video, we will discuss couple of points like how IT company makes money. Second, what kind of employment they provide. Third is what kind of revenue they have. Fourth is top players of IT companies in Indian market. Fifth is like what is AI, artificial intelligence in simple word. What is the Indian market of whole IT sector? Then what could be the future of artificial intelligence in the Indian market? Now we will start with the first point, that is how IT company makes money. Majorly, IT company makes money into three section. One is software development, second is BPO, business process outsourcing, and third one is KPO. What is software development? Basically, if I'm the client, I have a particular requirement. I wanted to build a particular portal, or this is my requirement. So I tell the IT company, this is my requirement. You work on this. They work, they create the software, and for that they get paid to manage the entire back office and everything. So this is how then second is a business process, or KPO or BPO. Basically, for example, if 200 people are working outside India to manage a particular process entirely, they outsource into Indian market to save the cost. That is called as a BPO and KPO. Now the money comes into KPO and BPO as per the FT wise. How many people's business is coming, on that basis they charge. They charge like a 1 hour per 1 hour dollar per hour dollar, like $8 per hour, $10 or $15 or $6. As per that they do a charges, and this is how the IT company makes money. Now, what is the revenue of the total IT sector in the Indian market? It's almost $230 billion. Out of that, 50 billion is from the domestic market, and rest is 170 billion comes from out of India. And what is the employment they provide? They provide almost more than 52 lakh people are employed in the IT sector. Out of that 52 lakh, 5.2 lakh is only with the TCS, and 2.6 lakh with the Infosys. So 52 lakh is the overall IT sector employment in India. We discuss about how IT company makes money, we discuss employment, we discuss the revenue. Now, which are the top player in the Indian market? If you look at the Indian IT sector, top 10 player holds somewhere around 26.5 lakh crore market cap. 26.5 lakh crore market cap. Out of that, TCS holds 11.5 lakh crore. Infosys hold 6.2 lakh crore. Where the HCL hold 2.5 lakh crore. Wipro holds 2 lakh crore. Then TCS, this L&T holds 80,000 crore. Then Mindtree with a 50,000 crore. Then you have Infosys, you have L&T, you have Oracle. These are the top players in the Indian market, which holds overall 26.5 lakh crore. Now, the point is artificial intelligence. If this comes, then the entire 26.5 lakh crore valuation gets hammered. Now, what it is, artificial intelligence? We will try to understand in a very simple word. Artificial intelligence, what the word says, artificial, which is not real, which is made, matlab nakli, artificial jewelry hai, right? Nakli jewelry hai. So similar way, intelligence is the brain. So indirectly, you create the intelligence, you create the brain. That's called as artificial intelligence. Now I'll give you a simple example to understand in a better way. Suppose, let's take a live example. Currently, our income tax or IT portal is handled by Infosys company. Almost 1,000 FTs business Infosys gets from a IT portal. Now, what they do basically, when you when you file the returns, they check that they revalidate as per the procedure. They have a certain procedure. Okay, how much you put it income from blah blah blah. These are the criterias, and they recheck it, and after that they approve it. If there is a IT refund, they issue the refund. If there is some issue, they ask for a clarification. So this is the entire things is managed by Infosys, with almost 1,000 FTs are working for this portal. Now, if the artificial intelligence comes, or now what this is the entirely manual driven process. 1,000 people are working. So what I do, I create such a intelligence that by default, matlab, that system will automatically check your IT return. Okay, how much you got the interest, they will directly check with your uh, this bank statement. How much money you made into stock market, they directly go with a PAN number or Aadhaar number, they will check on that number how much profit is made. Then you mention how much rent you made it, so they will directly check on the PAN card how much the rent is, you received. You, if you put the wrong things, by default the system will catch it. You don't need any manual intervention for that. Currently what happens, the people goes, they check, they revalidate, and they approve the your returns. This is just an example I'm saying. So what happens when the artificial intelligence come, that entire process will be automatic. The directly system will go into your bank statement, they will check how much interest you got it. Even this 1 paisa difference, the system will tell you. Now what happens, these 1,000 people are working, they take a break, they work for 8 hours only, right? They get a paid for they get a paid for that. Every year they have to give the increment. Every 1 or 2 hour, the company has to provide the tea, coffee. The company has to provide the good amount of perk. But when the system will come, the artificial intelligence come, then there is no perk or there is no need of any other things. The whole day and night the system will work automatically. The entire process will be automatic. This is the just an example I'm saying. What is artificial intelligence? Matlab, a human activity is entirely done by with a system. That is called as a artificial intelligence. Now how it happens, you create the entire model, like, okay, if you get this kind of ITR, what you supposed to do, these are the things you already tell to the system. It is already fit into that system, so system just check into that. So it takes time to create that AIs for that particular process. It may take a 1 year, it may 6 months, or 1 year or 2 years. But once it's ready, that 1,000 people jobs will be like 50 people job. So 950 people will be out from the market. And again, the costing will be hammered. If the currently government is paying for 100 FTs, so let's say government is, just an example, let's say government is paying 100 crore per month to Infosys. That 100 crore rupees, they don't need to spend 100 crore. The job will be done with a 15 crore or 20 crore, because there will be competition. If one person is developing, they will sell it, the other companies also develop in a similar fashion, they will try to sell the product at the cheaper rate. So indirectly hammer will be on the employment side and the revenue side as well. Now what is the current expectation in the AIs? If you look at the Indian companies are more, Indian IT companies are more focusing on the new business, they are focusing on the revenue, they are focusing on the new client, but they are less focusing on the research part, that is AI. It is mostly done into North America or European part. There's a high level of AI's development is happening in the China as well. If this system comes, trust me that 230 billion revenue will come down to $50 billion. I'm saying the higher level. So entire revenue, what happens? Work is done with the system, and you don't need a much costing for that, and it is a long life. Currently you get a paid in the IT sector on a FT wise. Suppose if you are using, I just mentioned 1,000 FTs for a particular process, that work, if the AI is doing, and you just require to monitor the entire process, so you may require 50 to 100 50 to 100 people only. So rest 900 people will go out of that process. That is the biggest risk for the IT sector in the coming future. If you, my genuine suggestion, if you know particular company is doing on artificial intelligence or doing a research on this part, or they have developed the softwares, try to buy those shares of those companies. Now it is not restrict to the IT companies only. You must have seen on the news as well, there are restaurants who use the AIs to prepare a food as well. I was shocked to see the video the other day on the YouTube. It is clearly, that system was making a biryani. The system was told, okay, you take a 50 gram rice, you take a 5 gram this thing, what you call masala, you take 50 gram vegetables, you take mirchi, and all entire thing is fit into system. So if you place the order of one biryani, directly system assemble everything and they make a food and they will give you in a 15 minutes. You can check on the Google, on the YouTube as well. There are a lot of videos are there. So just imagine if this kind of system comes, what kind of employment, it will get hammered. So the AI is not restrict to the IT companies revenue, but at the higher level in the all the sectors, the majorly it will be hammered with the IT sector companies. So they have to change it as per the time, and there are companies who are trying it very hard to, like L&T is trying very hard into the AI section as well. Let's see how it works. Now, what is the AI market? In by 2025, we are expecting the AI's market, artificial intelligence business in Indian market, will be more than $10 billion. Just trust me, if this happens, this 230 billion revenue, current revenue, will come down to $180 billion. That $10 billion revenue means actually you are removing 40 billion revenue from the company, because that the work will be done with the $10 billion. Now of course there are chances that new business will come, if you do a lot of research and if you do a progress, as per that you will get the revenue. But the major point is not the new business, major point is not the margins, major point is artificial intelligence. Again I'm saying, if you know a particular company who is rigorously working on AIs and they are developing a good product, trust me, buy the shares of those companies. Don't sell it, keep it for, let's say, minimum 10 years or 7 years perspective. It will be a game changing into the IT sector stock. IT sector stock has not hammered yet. I just mentioned that 600 rupees stock went up to 1800 plus. From 1800 it came down to 1500. Just an example, it is not called as a crash or it is not called as a downside. They have done the decent valuation. The revenues or the margins, not much hammered, but in the coming future this will be hammered by AI side. That is the biggest risk for the Indian IT companies. So this is all I wanted to share with you. If you have any doubts or questions on this, do mention in the comment box. I'll be glad to answer those. One more point, if your children are planning to study into engineering side or software engineer side or these section basically, so just have a second thought on the AIs as well, because currently, just an example, automobile engineer, what they basically we perceive as a non-engineer, okay, they will go to company, they will prepare, they will make the cars and they will put the nuts and bolts, but everything currently it is managed by AIs only. This is, I'm just saying, if your children or anybody planning to do engineering or software engineering or this kind of courses, currently we have it, think about the AIs. 3 to 4 years down the line, these jobs will not be there. Even the nuts and bolts are tightening nuts and bolts, that those jobs are already removed. You just see the Ola factory, and most of the work, like 80% work, is done with the help of artificial intelligence only, or the robots we call it. So think on that perspective only. Think from that perspective also. If your children are planning for a higher studies, AIs can be a game changer option. I'm not saying you ask them to join the AIs. No, absolutely not. I'm saying AI in the future, AIs may come, and because of that, the employment gets hammered. That's the reason I mentioned. Hope you enjoyed today's discussion. If you have any question, do mention in the comment box. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. Thank you.